Hi everyone, welcome to my stream. I will be on site shortly to greet you. Please prepare to take your seats inside my office and make sure to store any member emotes close by for quick access. There will be no spamming during the show, and please do not use vulgar language in the chat. Participating in my streams may require specific instructions. Please follow them accordingly to benefit me and everyone. I'm almost on site, so please step away from the doors as they'll be opening in a few moments to let you in. Thank you. Okay, I'm here. Sector 1 entrance, you are clear to open. Right? Hello? Hello? Am I muted now? Or am I good? Let me know when I'm good. Let me know when I'm good. yeah, let me know when I'm good. Let me know when I'm good. Let me see. Okay, hello? Hello? Oh, we're good? We're good? Okay, cool. Very good, very good. Okay, yeah, I was wondering, I'm like, dude, I see my waveform bar moving. I'm like, what? Why am I still muted? Okay, I'm good. We're good. Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Good to see you all here today. So, as I was saying before I so rudely got muted, I have been having a lot of ideas for, well, years now in this game. Some of them have been implemented and some of them haven't. It's been pretty hit or miss in terms of what ends up being in the game. But I would like to, I've been playing this game since 2020. I've been playing this game since the gallery came out for book 1. I have been playing for a very long time. And I have been playing in main game a lot. I got so enthusiastic about the game that I started originally making memes for it. I was sitting there like speed running maps. I was sitting there, you know, creating like a bunch of TikToks for like tips and tricks on how to play as Piggy, and some cool things you can do to catch players that normally they wouldn't see coming. And then when it came to build mode, I got really into that. I've been playing build mode for a long time now, by a huge amount of time. And in both of those aspects, I've really come to the point where I'm like, man, it would be cool if you can add in this, or you know what, from my experience, if you add something like this, it would be a lot better. So I wanted to give my perspective. If I was ever in the position of being a Piggy developer, I'd like to share some of the things that I would end up adding. Now, of course, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, if I was the Piggy dev, I would just add everything. Because in reality, that's a huge amount of stuff that you would have to end up adding. But that doesn't mean that I wouldn't focus on key specific things that are more important. And just, you know, do it in a smaller contained thing. I would prioritize things. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to surprise you guys. I know I am known as the build mode guy, but I'm going to surprise you by starting off with main Piggy. There are two things, if I was a Piggy dev, there are two things that I would change about main game Piggy. And you guys might be surprised. After this, I'm going to talk about the build mode stuff, but I want you guys to hear me out. There are two things I would change on main game Piggy. The first one is a small cosmetic change that would still mean a lot, and the other one is a pretty big thing, especially if you've been playing Piggy for a long time now, or if you're just more competitive in general, it's going to be a big thing. Before I say that, though, we got a new tweet by Epic Tank, and Epic Tank basically said, some exciting things are happening soon. So I replied, and I was like, maybe you'd like to pop by today's stream in less than an hour from now? So an ad probably just popped up for you guys right now, so I'm gonna wait a couple seconds. I'm gonna wait a couple seconds for the ads to be over. It's probably, give it like 30 seconds or so. But I do want to talk about this real quick because it's gonna provide some interesting perspective here. Let me see. Mouse key. Oh yeah, I need to talk about the mouse key as well. I have no ads. Okay, are you guys back from ads? Chat, are you guys back from ads yet? Because I do would like you guys should be back from ads by now. Yeah? Okay. Alright, cool. Yep, you guys are back from ads. Cool. So yeah, he says something exciting things are happening soon. First of all, the mouse key, I'm not sure whatever happened to that. Maybe that's coming at a later point or sometime soon. I have no clue. Apparently I could have sworn they said something about the quest being done, I think. Not confirmed though, but yeah, I don't know. I have no clue. But yeah, I was like, yeah, maybe you'd like to pop by today's stream in less than an hour from now, which is basically around this time. So maybe he'll pop by the stream, maybe he won't. We'll have to see. So let me go ahead and talk about main game real quick. So I have two different ideas. The first idea is this background. We have had this background since the very beginning of Piggy, and I feel like it doesn't really reflect modern Piggy. If you guys remember, they recently did a banner change to the Piggy page. So, and it looks so good. Where is it at? Where is it at? Yeah, this. This looks amazing. It's a perfect reflection of book one. It's really high quality. It just really does a great job of showing modern Piggy. And alongside that, of course, showing modern Piggy is stuff like Decay, Delirium, and all that other stuff with the more modern chapters and whatnot. So I think modern Piggy needs that sort of rebrand even more with like, hey, here's what Piggy looks like now. Because on TikTok, I've seen a lot of people come back to Piggy and they're like, oh my god, wait. They'll pop into like Decay and they'll be like, wait, this is Piggy? Oh my god, this is terrifying. Where do I get the skins? Where do I do this and that? And I think that's a great aspect. And I think that should really be leaned into. So I think that the background should get a change. Maybe it should be similar to the banner where it shows everyone in high quality for book one. Or maybe it shows more of like Decay's elements or stuff like that. Honestly, I think maybe a redo for book one would probably be better and would last longer. But the main problem though, the main issue is that when I clicked the Decay Delirium button, you saw that it did like the transition. So they would probably have to redo some transitions. But seriously, if they just changed the background, it would be so much nicer. It would really reflect the main game in a new way a lot better, especially for newer players as well. You know, putting all of your new high quality stuff up front to show and say, hey, this is us now. Or for new players, hey, this is us. Look how great we look, you know? So that's one thing that I'm adamant about. Hopefully them changing. If I was a developer, this would be something that I would end up doing. The second thing, though, is something even bigger. It is something I've wanted in Piggy for years now. I did mention the idea before, but let me ask you guys something. Chat, how long have you been playing Piggy? Tell me in chat right now, how long have you been playing Piggy? How long have you been playing Piggy? Like I said, I've been playing Piggy since Gallery was released. And if there was one thing to describe me as a longtime Piggy player, it is competitive. You know, just killing players and playing the regular maps isn't enough for me anymore. I like to go deeper than that. I like to upgrade myself in a way by learning tips and tricks. How to kill players faster. How to outsmart players faster. And what better of an environment could that be in than a ranked mode? Picture this, right? I even wrote this down because I'm like, yeah, this is something that, yeah, like, listen. Picture this, a new mode in Piggy that anyone can join into. It's called ranked mode. And basically what it is, it's a dedicated 1v1 mode where you can compete in a global leaderboard. It is so cool. It's such a cool idea. So here's how it works, right? When you're in ranked mode, you hit play, it's going to randomly choose a book 1 map. And when it does randomly choose a book 1 map, it's going to pair you and another player randomly together, right? And I'm debating on whether it makes you randomly Piggy or randomly a player, or if you can just, there's like 2 different modes of being a ranked Piggy versus a ranked player. I'm not sure yet. But either way, one of you would be Piggy and one of you would be a player. It's a dedicated 1v1 in a random book 1 map. Now, if you win the game, you will earn trophies, right? And trophies will help you rise on the leaderboard. It basically determines your leaderboard position, but it also determines who you get matched up with. So the higher in the leaderboards you go, the more and more experienced players that you face, and the more experienced Piggies, of course. So, yeah, and apparently Roblox has had like a new system for matchmaking and stuff like that. I think that would pair up perfectly, right? Imagine instead of just, you know, randomly going into regular main games, being like, okay, we're just gonna easily kill players over and over again. You want to have an actual 1v1 that you could just keep playing and playing and playing. But here's the catch. When, you're probably wondering, okay, well, what do I get for even doing this? The reward would be an exclusive skin that is only going to be obtainable in ranked. So here's how it works, right? If you are in the top 10, by the time the month ends, you will earn an exclusive Piggy skin. It doesn't even need to be that fancy of a Piggy skin. It could just be anything. If I've learned anything, people will go nuts for this skin, even though it's just okay looking. You know, Polly? People go nuts for this, even though it's just okay looking. So the leaderboard exclusive skin could be anything. It could literally be anything. But overall, how it would be is the top 10 players at the end of the month would earn that exclusive skin. So, yeah, and that skin would basically stay the same. It wouldn't change to a new skin every month. It would just stay as the same skin every month. But I think it would be a really cool reward to flex people. I'd fire you? Wait, when did you... Alright, Epic Tank is here, by the way. When did you get here, by the way? Wait, what idea would you fire me for? A ranked mode? Nah, man, I gotta stand on that. A ranked mode sounds... Chow, what do you think of a ranked mode? What do you think, like, based on the idea I gave, what do you think of a ranked mode? Seriously, I think, like, for more competitive players and people who just want to, like, diverge from the same old, but still be engaged in main game content, which a lot of players still like to do nowadays, I think it would be really nice. I think it would be really, really cool. Like, just seeing, like, everybody going crazy, like, trying to compete in the leaderboards and winning versus losing, good top 10, but it would be full of hackers. Yeah, that's the thing. Honestly, you could tweak the anti-cheat to make it so that anyone going faster than the speed boost speed, you know, when you use the player ability for speed boost, anyone going above that speed would just be killed like that. They have a system for that I think exists in main game, but it for sure exists in build mode, because I've tested it myself with the speed coil, and yeah, the moment you hold out that speed coil, you instantly die. Add a skydiver suit thing in build mode. Oh, like a gliding suit or something like that? What do you mean? Too many hackers? Yeah, that would be the only thing. I have been catching a lot. Yeah, I don't know. Rank encourages hackers in every game. It just ruins games, so no, don't do it. I feel like a lot more people would be missing out on it, though. Yeah, hackers. So if it came to speed hackers, that idea I gave with, like, having a speed cap would make sense. When it came to hackers who are... you guys know those hackers that use the flying, but you hear the swimming sounds? Maybe just make it where if the player's detected swimming at all, they just instantly die as well. Because there's no swimmable water in main game, right? Yeah, there's no swimmable water in book 1 or 2. So there should be no reason for anyone to be swimming in the first place. And then the third idea, which would be probably a little bit more, the third idea is not ideal, but it would definitely be a good fix, is probably adding death blocks to all the maps in places where Piggy normally wouldn't be able to reach. That way, in case except for vents, obviously. That way, if, Piggy ends up getting it, if players try to, like, fly above a certain place, they just die. Let me see. Technically, flying doesn't exist inside of main Piggy. It only exists inside of build mode. So I understand, that makes sense why exploiters would be able to fly in build mode. Or use the swimming thing, I think. Let me see. But yeah, anyways, those are my ideas. I still think a ranked mode would be really cool. I know the hackers thing is an issue, but maybe if that issue were to be fixed, I think it would be such a cool mode. I think it would be a game-changing mode for the game itself, especially for long-time players. Now, I need to get into where my specialty is, which is build mode. So I'm going to talk about some of my ideas here. So, if I was a developer for build mode, I would show you some of the stuff that I would be working on for the next update. Let me see. Or some of the stuff that I would prioritize in a way. Let me see. What about the scammer? The scammer scams on wall when Piggy bot comes? I have no idea. What? Since when can bots scam people? What? Has any developer made an anti-no clipping cheat? I'm sure someone has. Like, if they were able to make the anti-WS cheat, or I mean the WS thing in Forsaken, surely they gotta make something like, surely it's gotta be possible. It just might be tricky, because you might get, like, accidental triggers and stuff like that, So that's the only thing. Alright, so, let's talk about some build mode ideas. If I were in charge of build mode, and I was a developer for build mode, here are some of the things I would change. The first thing I have in mind is, I don't have a video of it, and I don't have it on screen. I just need to describe it. Everybody, we're gonna let out a long sigh for this one, okay? Other players are currently watching a cutscene. Yeah, that just brought back some bad memories, didn't it? This is the most heinous thing that has been plaguing build mode for a very long time now. Randomly, all of a sudden, when you start up your game and everyone else is finished watching the cutscene, there will be one player with McDonald's Wi-Fi or some kind of issue where they will be permanently stuck inside the cutscene, and it'll prevent any other players from being able to go. It's horrible. I know, it's terrible. And the only way to do it, and most builders don't know how to do this. I'd say like 90% of people don't know how to do this. If you are ever stuck in this, if you're a builder and you're ever stuck in this state where it says other players are currently watching the cutscene, what you need to do is bring up the menu and try to place down a block, and it'll bring up some small text, like small text at the bottom of the screen, and it'll say cannot continue because players are watching a cutscene, and it'll show who is still stuck. So then all you would have to do to fix that is you would just go into control and then kick that person, and boom, that's it. That is it. But having everybody else be held off, and it's mainly an issue too, because if a map is public and other people are joining in constantly, it makes the cutscene timer continue to go on, and basically prevents anybody from being able to finish the cutscene. Yeah. So one thing I would fix about that is I would probably try to implement a system where that doesn't even exist in the first place. If you finish the cutscene, you should be able to start the map. If not, then you will have you won't be able to die to Piggy or anything else like that. You'll basically have a force field until you finish the cutscene. And yeah, just a skip cutscene button. So you just click skip cutscene and boom, you're able to start the game. Honestly, I know some people are going to be like, oh, but they might not see the very beginning of the game. I mean, that's usually the same when it comes to, public build mode maps. You're always joining in the middle of a game anyways, Plus, they can always see it next round. But yeah, that's always a lot bigger of an issue than, that issue that I described, where everybody is just permanently stuck. It's horrible. It happens so often. I wish it was gone. So, adding some kind of skip button or something like that would be a lot nicer. Plus, have you guys ever encountered those maps where it's like Piggy Says, and they play the same Piggy Says intro cutscene of like, listen to Piggy. We are here as Piggy Says. Rule number 1. And they have a whole cutscene for it that plays every single round, and it's so long. Yeah, even more of a thing for a skip button, if you want, you can make it so that the first round you start in a server doesn't have the skip button. But besides that, there should just be a skip button besides that anyways. Because, oh man, it's just, I don't know. Let me see. If they add ranked mode, we need the reward to be a Teletubby. Why specifically a Teletubby? Yeah, my 1 hour of waiting for people to finish watching cutscenes to leave and quit playing do the day. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so that's basically one of my ideas. That is a good quality of life change. Another quality of life change is, oh no, I've accidentally deleted the base plate. I cannot tell you how many times I have frustrating moments where I delete something major and I'm like, oh no, or I delete a link and I'm like, oh no, I have to go back and relink everything or build the base plate out the same. And usually, yeah, you can rely on the autosave and stuff like that, or your save file or whatever. But if you implemented a bunch of new stuff beforehand, that's not all saved yet. So yeah, an undo and redo button. I remember playing Epic Tank's Constant game years ago, and it was such a sigh of relief just being able to be like, oh, okay, I made a mistake. There we go. But in comparison, without one, it's like, oh my god, you literally have that IRL moment where you just, you facepalm yourself and you're like, okay, yeah, I guess I have to go back. I have no choice. So an undo and redo button. I mean, honestly, I don't know how difficult it would be. Maybe there's a log that keeps track of what you placed, what color it was. Maybe it would save up to, honestly, even if it saved up to 3 undos or whatever, that would be fine. Because normally, whenever it's accidental, it's majorly accidental. So it would be a lot nicer. It would be a lot nicer. So I would definitely do that. Another quality of life change that I would end up making is the fog. So, as you guys know, fog in Piggy is a default thing. You guys have probably seen it in Book 1 and Book 2. It's just a default thing that's always in the game. But the problem is, most people don't know that they can change it. I have been in I'm not even joking, countless. I have been in a countless amount of build mode maps, right? Where people will have accidentally left the fog on. And every single time, there hasn't been a single time that people have said, oh yeah, I kept the fog like this intentional. I'm not talking about snowy fog or whatever. I'm not talking about this kind of fog where it's supposed to be intentional. I'm talking about the default fog. Right? There hasn't been a single person who has had that intentionally. But the problem is, it's a default feature. But what if you could just have it where as soon as a player joins into their server, the server will run a script that puts this on and puts this at max. So they would have no fog. I have been in so many maps where I'm like, hey, owner, can I have Team Builder? I can fix the fog for you. And they're like, oh, yeah, sure. I don't know how to fix the fog. Thank you for that. So I go and do that, and the map looks so much nicer. And they're like, oh my god. Oh, yeah, anyways, you guys basically get it. But yeah, having it where, when you join a server, have a script runs that, sets this to this. If it's a new server, obviously this wouldn't affect save files and stuff like that. But just when you're in a new server, it will end up changing it so you can use the custom fog settings. It would be a lot nicer. A lot nicer, especially for newer players. Let's talk about decorations now. So there are a couple decorations that should be in the next build mode update. First of all, the barrier. Do you guys remember the barrier and the floodlights that were inside the Decay Delirium trailer? Yeah, those didn't get added into the season. That's kind of odd, isn't it? So I think I vaguely remember that Epic Tank said something. He replied to someone regarding this. It's probably under replies. It is probably under replied. Yeah, those never came out. Yeah, exactly. So if I recall, it was a little lower. It was, where is it at? Where's that? Where is it at? Where is it at? Where's it at? I have no idea what these conversations are. I'm just going to scroll past them. Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Basically, there was a tweet that someone was like, hey, Epic Tank, you forgot to add these. And he's like, maybe those will be useful in the future. That's basically it. That's basically it. He's like, Epic Tank basically just says, maybe these will come in the future or whatever. It was Neo's Void? Oh, it was? They just scrapped it? I don't know if they scrapped it because they were like already pre-made as well. So besides thinking that those are coming in the next update, I want to talk about, if I was the developer, what decorations would I add inside of the next build mode update? One of them is a very easy answer. A very, very easy answer. Actually, you know, why am I in here? I need to go over into Curly's game. Let me go into Curly's game. And by the way, for my ideas, I'm not just going to take a bunch of Curly's ideas and be like, oh yeah, I'd add this and this and this. I have some very specific ideas in mind. But I need to talk about that real quick. Some of these I can better highlight because they exist in Curly's game. They said the scripters forgot. Wait, what? Wait, what do you mean? Wait, what do you mean the scripters forgot? They forgot what? I don't even know what you mean. Yeah, let me just put this base plate here. There we go. Yep, this is a lot nicer. I'm just gonna color this green like that, and then I'm just gonna take some grass. Where's the grass at? There it is. Okay. So, one decoration that I would definitely add, and this would be on the easier side, the docks ladders. Yeah, you can just, and there's a wider version too, which is really clever. I would definitely use the wider version for like Tumble Tower. But yeah, the docks ladder. You guys know how in the docks chapter, there's a ladder you can actually climb up? Why don't we have climbable, why don't we have anything that's climbable in Piggy? Now, technically you guys are gonna be like, well, Ernie, there is actually a thing where if you use the vent shafts and then offset them, then you get a climbable thing, blah, blah, blah. But like, why would you even need to do that? Especially for like when it comes to newer players as well, where they just simply want something that's climbable. Why have to go and do all this? Plus it has a lot of parts, you know, having to add so many vent shafts and everything like that. Why even need to do all this? Why can't you just have it where it's a simple decoration? And I think that would be nice. You just take the thing from the docks chapter and you put it as a decoration. And then you have a climbable ladder that anybody can use, you know? So when it comes to decorations, I put this as priority number 1 solely because of the fact that it has a utility to it outside of just being decorative. Outside of just being decorative. Okay, there we go. Just add a ladder block. So originally in Epic Tank's concept game a long time ago, he did make a ladder block. Did Curly add? Oh yeah, he added these as well. Yeah, Epic Tank technically added a ladder block that was like this, but it was a solid block. But the issue came with scaling. Even Curly had issues trying to scale it. Just you can't really scale climbable objects. Unless he just changed that. Wait, hold on, what? Is it not actually gonna be... Oh! Well, he definitely found a way. Okay. Honestly, I'd take this. This is... Well, maybe it can't... I guess it's not a perfect system. If I scale it a little lower? No, I think it just got janked. it like shrunk itself. But this is kind of an interesting idea. I like the start of this idea where it's like, if you scale the block, it adjusts itself. And then boom, you can do this. So I think that's actually pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. I think it would also be really nice if there was a setting for this where you can set the visibility to 0. That way you can make it look like it's climbing up a bridge. Oh, that looks nicer. Yeah, honestly, you'd be none? What does none do? Oh, okay, none just has it where it just looks like this. Okay. Yep, okay. Yeah, having a setting for it where you can make it invisible would be really nice. That way, if you ever want to like offset this into a wall, you can make it look like you're climbing up a wall or something. You know. Let me see. Ernie, what if we had a select all or a copy and paste feature? That would be incredible. But in terms of stuff for next update, I don't think there would be enough time. I don't think there would be enough time. It's not like there's a confirmed release date for the next update or anything like that. But it's definitely a lot of work to try and get that to work inside of build mode. Would I want it in build mode? Absolutely. I think it would be a major feature. It would be not just a major quality of life feature, but I think it would be a major feature. I mean, it's basically just a quality of life feature. But I had an idea where if you use this, I call it grouping, right? So you take a bunch of blocks and then you highlight them, you select them all, and then you group them into something. But I had an idea where you could save groups. So if you select a bunch of blocks, and then you could save it inside of your toolbox, and you could have like 10 different creations, as they're called, inside of your toolbox here that you could use at a time. And if you ever need more of them, you could just select it as if it was a pre-made thing, and then you could just, you know, place it down. So you can have more of them in your map that you could just place over and over and over again. But on top of that, you would be able to bring it to other people's maps as well. So if you wanted to make like a real working cannon inside of build mode, you build it in your map. And if whenever I visit people's build mode maps in the thing, I always love to build stuff for them and upgrade their maps, but it usually takes a long time for that to happen. Then everyone's stuck waiting, you know? So being able to just pop in and be like, hey, here's something cool to add into your map, and I add in like a voting system or something like that. You know, I join a lot of maps that's like infection only or rating your Piggy skins, and I've always had these moments where I'm like, oh man, this would be so much better if they just added this or just added that. But usually they gotta watch my YouTube videos for that, and then, you know, go through the whole tutorial and blah, blah, blah. Whereas if I could just add that in, that would be a lot nicer. But that, again, it's a lot of work. I don't expect that. Also, something I don't expect this update is the roller coaster, because that is a major thing. That is something that hopefully Epic Tank will hear out some of my ideas for, because I think the roller coaster is something I've wanted in build mode for a long time. I've seen its potential for it being like a moving transportation system, because when it comes to stuff like the drivable car, which we'll talk about in a second, when it comes to stuff like the drivable car, the player controls where they go. But with the roller coaster, the owner gets to dictate where the player goes. And I think that can open up for a lot of different things. Now, let's talk about the drivable car. If I was a developer for Piggy, I'd fix this thing. This thing has been defunct for years. It has literally it's been a rusty old car in the junkyard for years. It does not work. I don't even count this as being in build mode because of how badly it doesn't work. Yeah, did I say that right? How badly it doesn't work. Yeah, I said that right. It's dysfunctional. There was a player, I was on the public server list, right? Didn't Epic Tank say he would fix it? I believe so, but he never said when. This is so funny. I was on the public server list, right? And there was a bunch of people's maps, and someone had a map that said 2020 player plays build mode for the first time in years. And I joined that map because I'm like, oh dude, this would be so cool for me to introduce them to all the new build mode stuff. And I did, and it was really fun. And then he tried the build mode car. And he was about to play, he placed it down. And I was like, oh, you know what? Don't even bother with that. It's the worst drivable car in video game history. Don't even bother. So he tried it anyways. And the first thing he said was, oh my god, you're right. This is undrivable. Yeah. It's horrible. It's so bad. It's so bad. So, if there was one thing I would fix regarding this, it would just be to make it drivable, right? There are a lot of, like, in Roblox Studio, you should be able to make, like, stuff drivable, so, yeah, I mean, you just fix it. I mean, clearly Curly did, so if I take the player spawn, I'm gonna put this here, and then I'm gonna use this to, is there a way to hide the fog? Yeah, there it is. Cool. I'm just gonna set it to whatever the max number is. Yep, there we go. Yep, there we go. Yeah, so you just go in here and look at this. Like, even just based on the gameplay, you can tell how much better it is. It's crazy that the official build mode car is so bad that you can even tell how bad it is in gameplay. Or like just by watching gameplay of it, right? Whereas when you're watching this, you can tell so much better as to how it acts. And this is just like a normal car that you would expect in a video game too. You know what I mean? You just use it and you drive it and that's it. It's almost exciting because this car has been inside the game for ages now. But if the car was actually drivable, maybe you would be able to make like actual racing maps that work and make like a bunch of stuff that you normally couldn't beforehand because this technically didn't exist, you know? Let me see. Hey, Ducky, welcome. I would like the camera block. I will get to that. I will definitely get to that. We need to talk about some NPCs, though. Because some of you guys may be like, Ernie, are there any NPCs you would add if you were a Piggy dev? Yeah, there is one. And that's the apparitions from Decay Delirium. aka the shadow people in the kids play area, right? I think it would be really cool to have them as NPCs, not just because they're absolutely terrifying, but I think they would serve a different function. They would be the first ever damage dealing NPCs. So in Decayed Delirium, when it comes to the apparitions, I believe they don't even insta-kill you. They like attack you and they actually deal damage. So what if you could have the first ever hostile NPC in build mode that doesn't insta-kill but deals damage, right? I think that would be really cool. And then of course they would work with like patrol points or maybe even their own patrol points if you would want. And I think that it would be a pretty cool thing. Not really a big thing on the priority list that I would have, but I think it would be a pretty neat thing as of the recent release of Decayed Delirium. Let me see. What else would I add? What else would I add? What else? You know what, chat? Should I just show you the Google Doc of the things that I have? Yeah, I'll just show you what I have. Yeah, I basically wrote a doc. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, so I already talked about this. The main game features for ranked mode, new menu background, advanced scaling. So I need to talk about advanced scaling, right? Fortunately, Curly has it in this game, and I think it would be a lot nicer. I think it'd be a lot nicer if we had advanced scaling because you'd be able to do so much more. I mean, at this point, I have droned on and on about advanced scaling for years now. I don't even think there's anything more for me to say that would be new or anything like that. It's just advanced scaling would be nice. I can't scale that one. Let me see. Can I advanced scale this? Let me see. Oh yeah, I can. Yes, I can. You can have anything to its exact scale however you want. Custom shapes, you can make whatever you want. And you can make stuff as flat as you want too. Yeah, look at that. You could just have it be like paper thin if you wanted to. See, I'm almost like falling off of it as well. It's just really nice. I gotta turn, there we go, shift lock is off. There we go. That's a lot nicer. Yeah, advanced scaling. What else do I need to say? People have talked about this for ages now. There's nothing left for me to talk about here. We need to make the ability to make conveyor belts faster and scale them. Okay, I'm gonna talk about that right now. Yeah, here, actually, I'll just go down the list. New basic blocks, cone and ring. So have you ever wanted to make your own spikes in build mode? Wait, did a cone ever get added in build mode? Oh, a cone got added in Curly's game. I was like, wait, maybe it already got added. I'm tripping. No. So look at, yeah, a cone. See, you can have an actual cone inside of build mode. You can use this to make spikes or stalactites. But yeah, look at this. Yeah, it's a cone. I mean, that's pretty much it. It would be a nice basic block that you can do a lot with. That's pretty much that for that. Let me see. Another basic block I would have is a ring. Maybe you just want to have like a ring block. Yeah, just some simple stuff. Those aren't really my most impressive ideas. They're just some basic blocks people can play around with and create some cool stuff with. We already talked about this. The giant forest tree. So, chat, do you remember in the mansion chapter that there are huge dead trees that surround the mansion? I think that would be so cool as a decoration. Wait a minute. Wait. Chat, whatever happened to the giant forest tree? Do you guys remember there was supposed to be a giant forest tree that Epic Tank was supposed to add? Wait. Let me pull up Epic Tank's YouTube channel. Epic Tank? Hold on a second. Hold on just a second. Yeah, wait. Yeah, wait a minute. There was. Yeah, there was. Look at this in the background. Not just that, but there was a spiderweb event as well. Whatever happened to these? Yeah, do you guys remember there was a giant forest tree that you can, like, from the forest chapter? And then there was a spiderweb event that you can, like, use a candle item with? Which would be great, because you could just bring in a candle item. Let me see. He probably scrapped it? I don't know about that, because he made it, right? Didn't he make it? Let me see. Let me see. Didn't he make it? It was like one of the last ones he made, right? No, the last one he made was the eyeball. Yeah, the spider web. So he added, I think he took a bit scripting it, or maybe he didn't. Let me see. Well, I guess we'll find out right now. he made it placeable, but I don't know. There's no guarantee that he like added the scripts for it or anything like that. Because he does a lot of the scripts like off screen. I have no clue. Maybe he could have been doing the scripting off screen, but I have no clue. But what we will know, what we will know about is the giant forest tree. So where's the giant forest tree at? It was, I think it was ahead of when he was doing the ATM stuff. Yeah, he was doing the ATM stuff. And then where's the giant forest tree? Yeah, here it is. No, he definitely made it. So I don't know if it's just privated until the next update or when it was. This was 10 months ago. Oh my god, this was 10 months ago. What, has it already? Dang, has it been 10 months already? Jeez. It's still such a cool decoration, though. I'm hoping he adds it. I'm surprised he never ended up adding it, though. Even when the decal update came out, he didn't add it in. Yeah, I have no clue what happened to it. Maybe he hates us? No, I think he just hates trees. Him and the Lorax don't get along. The chat had the ability to move the accessories in custom NPCs. Oh yeah, I forgot you can do that with your own avatar as well. Maybe. Yeah, the giant forest tree. I have no clue what happened to it, but it would be nice. Is that decoration in Curly's game? No, it's not. But he did add the entire Medora, which is pretty cool. Yeah, he did add that. Pretty neat. Let me see. Heck yeah. The tree burned down. Yeah, maybe he used the candle item on the tree instead of the spider web. Yeah, who knows? But yeah, that's basically it for decorations. Decorations, I would say the Doc's ladder. There we go. Yeah, the Doc's ladder. The wooden barrier, the spotlight block. I mean, the decay flood lamp, which was supposed to come in the next season, but I don't know what happened to it. But in terms of new lights, if I was a developer for Piggy build mode, I would add in the spotlight block. So chat, you know how we only have blocks in terms of light for like the dedicated light blocks themselves? We only have lights that give like an area of effect. So if I go over to brightness and I go over to range, it only creates a sphere all around it, right? If I added in a new light, I would add in a spotlight. There's also a surface light, which is pretty cool from Curly. But yeah, I would add in a spotlight. Let me go ahead and add on a wall so you guys can actually see what I'm talking about here. So let me take this. I'm going to scale up the wall here. And then if I add in a light, a spotlight, I would do right here. I've had this spotlight idea for a while now. And I think it'd be really cool. Whoa. What? Why did it just all of a sudden disappear? Maybe the brightness was too high? Maybe? Maybe I gotta make it a higher number or something? There we go. Yeah, so unlike the regular light block, the spotlight would be focused on one singular area. And you can also make it where you can set the angle. So if I want to have the angle be 1 degree or whatever, it would be, or yeah, see, it would be super tiny. You can make like these pinpoint little lights. Or you can make the range super giant and, you know, make it in a very large area. Maybe advanced cutscenes with better animations. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. People have been talking about like a cutscene animator or whatever. Me personally, this is just a, you know, just a personal thing. I'm not too, if I was a developer, I wouldn't be too focused on the cutscene stuff. I rarely ever see people use cutscenes nowadays. But if build mode ever did get to the point where people were using cutscenes like crazy and like making some really cool stuff with them, I'd be like, okay, you know what? There's room for me to be like, you know, adding this and that. But if the next, I'm not saying it's a bad thing either. I think a cutscene rework would be really cool to see like what new things could be possible, you know, with cutscenes. It's just me personally. There's some other things that could be added right now that would be a lot more useful to a lot more people, or like people have been waiting on for a longer time. Drivable car. Opponents or other players are still watching a cutscene, remove that, a whole bunch of stuff. Now, moving on here to new events, the spiderweb event is obviously, you know, that should be the thing, and the terrain block. So this is an idea from Curly. So technically we already have a terrain block inside of build mode, which is the water block. But what if we can use the other terrains? So chat, I don't know if you've seen this or not, but Curly's terrain block is pretty crazy. So all you have to do is you create a terrain area, right? You create an area where you have these blocks. I'll create a little mountain up here by adding on some blocks like this and making it go tall, right? And what you do is you just start up the game and look at this. Boom! You got yourself your own custom terrain. See, look, even like the mountains fuse together here. Like literally all the terrain fuses together. And you have it where it's got the moving grass as well. I don't know if it's possible in studio to recolor the... I'm sure it's possible to probably recolor the grass. But imagine making like gray grass like in Decay. Like imagine being able to have stuff like that. But it's not just limited to like the actual terrain grass that you can do. If you go inside the block settings, you can also change it to slate, which I've never seen slate before, by the way. What does that end up looking like? I'm not sure. But you know what's cool is that the terrains actually fuse together. So if you use two different ones, you can add blending. So for this one, it's slate. So you can make like these little mountain rocks that you can have here. You can also change it to concrete, brick, cobblestone, rock, sandstone, blah, 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 and cracked lava. What does cracked lava look like? Let me see. I forgot what cracked lava looks like. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, look at the cracked lava. Pretty much the same deal there, but it looks really nice. But yeah, I think one of the most fun and neat elements of build mode, or one of the most entertaining elements of build mode, is the fact that you can make maps look so good, they don't look like they're from Piggy at all. So imagine being able to have access to stuff like this, you know what I mean? Imagine being able to have these ice blocks here, and look, it even makes the top part of the ice frosted, which is really cool, you know? Like, this looks so good, you know? And as you can see, it all fuses together as usual. But I can imagine, like, combining this with the smoke block on the very top rim here, so you can make it look like the ice is, like, evaporating, you know? So I think that would be really cool. So if it ever came to events, I think this would be an amazing one to add into the game. I think it would be really cool. Really cool. So new NPCs, I already talked about this. Apparitions, not really a big deal. Not really something I would focus on, but like, you know, if I had some extra time, you know, if I was a Piggy developer, I would add in the apparitions, because I think what Minitoon and the team did with the creation of that NPC is super cool. Super cool. Candle goes to the spiderweb event. Now, let's get to the main course here, right? Let's get over to the main stuff here that would be really changing for build mode. The new linkable events. Chat, I have talked about these two for a long time now. Specifically this one for a long time now. The move block. So, what else do I need to say that I haven't already said about the move block? It's basically a block that you can move. But interestingly enough, Curly came up with something even better. He calls his version an animation gate. If I can get it on the correct orientation here. There we go. He calls it an animation gate. And it's pretty interesting. Because not only can you animate a block, you can animate anything. So if I take, for example, this forklift decoration, right? I can link it to anything in the game. I can link it to this. So once it's linked over to that, you can give it its own easing styles. You can give it, oh yeah, easing styles is right here, right? So if I want to make, you know, cubic, so I can have it where it slowly comes to a stop. How long it takes to reach its destination. All that kind of stuff, right? So I link it to that, and that's all set up there. How do I do this again? I forgot how, oh yeah, I remember now. The move reference. So I take a move reference, right? And I put it here. And then I take the, and then I forgot how I do this. Do I like link it to here and then this? I think I do. We did this last time we were playing Curly's game, so I forgot exactly how this works. But I take a lever, I link it to that, and then for resets when unpowered, yes, I definitely want to do that, and I'll have reset as well. Okay, let me see. Did I do that correctly? Let me see. I did do it correctly. I did do it correctly. So yeah, look at this. You can move anything in the game. Whoa, it like pushed me out of the way. So if you ever want to get like hit by a car here, you can do that. But I think what's even more unbelievable that Curly ended up doing was he added in something else. He added in something called a configuration gate. A configuration gate allows you to, check this out. It allows you to, where's that? Where's the block at? It's called a weld block. Weld block. Where the heck is it? All right, you know what? Let me just search up weld. There it is. Yep, I found it. Having a search bar would be very nice as well. Just putting it out there, I would definitely add a search block, a search bar, a search block. Oh my God, chat. Have you ever wanted to take? You remember how you guys were talking about the group, like the grouping feature idea, where you can just take two things and fuse them together? That's literally what welding is in Roblox Studio. So why not bring that into the game? You take this block and you weld two different things together. I can weld, for example, this, and let me take a death block. Yeah, kill block. What if I want to make it so that anybody who touches this dies? Well, I can take this death block and combine them together. So I'll take this like that. I'm going to weld these two together. So now they're welded. And I'm going to put it inside right here. There we go. So I forgot exactly how this is done. So we do this. And I think that's set up. Let me see. So now, not only are we moving, so the death block and the forklift are welded together in place. But since we're also moving this this animation gate, it moves the death block with it as well. So let's see. Maybe I didn't do it correctly. Let me see. No, I did not do it correctly. It's been I think it's almost been a month since I played Curly's game. So there's definitely some things I have to remember how to do here. There's definitely some things I definitely have to remember how to do. Let me take this and raise it up a little bit more. Did he also make it where if you collide into anything, it kills them? No, it doesn't. It's only for the death block. I don't know if the death block is powerful or not, or if it's supposed to. I have no clue. Let me see. So that's there. Wait, maybe I could just load in an autosave. What did I have in here last time? Oh, okay, never mind. I just saved immediately. Nope, never mind. Wait, maybe I saved it in here? Oh, okay, now my thing's gone. Okay, never mind. I'll just go back to what I was doing. But essentially, we've tried this before. That's basically what it ends up doing. A weld block. And having it work with something that's more than just a move block, but you can move anything, would be drastically, it would be probably my favorite thing in all of build mode. And I think people would be able to make some things with it that are just going to look unbelievable. Seriously. On top of that, though, one more thing I did want to mention was a seat block. So you get to like weld a seat block on top of that. So if you want to make like your own working, vehicles per se, honestly, if you did end up having something like this, you might not even need to make a roller coaster in the first place. It might depend. It might depend because you need the roller coaster to go to like multiple places, and this is only bringing something from one place to another, so it'd be very tricky. It would be very tricky. So yeah, I definitely say the move block would be really nice, but if they added in an animation gate like what Curly did, it would be the best possible version ever that you could possibly do, and I will truly say that Epic Tank has outdone himself to the maximum degree. I mean, what? I kind of lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, the camera block. Yeah. So, the next thing is the camera block. Have you ever wanted to change? I've already talked about this one a lot. You guys are probably already familiar with the camera block. You can use it to change your camera position. Have you ever wanted to have real working Five Nights at Freddy's cameras instead of having to cram players inside of a crawl space looking at a hallway? Have you ever wanted to have a top-down view if you ever want to make Pac-Man or something? Blah, blah, blah. You got the camera block. Have you ever wanted to make in-game cutscenes or in-game mission briefs where it's like, all right, take this and take it to this location? Use the camera block. And then besides that, the camera block, if you power on another camera block, it'll take your camera POV and change it over to another one. Yeah. So you can have transitionable cameras. Or you can have the option to have the camera just cut over to the next one. You know? So yeah, camera block would be really good. Really, really good. So that's definitely something I would add. Now, this is something, these next two are really interesting. They're actually a combination of some of the ideas I've been trying to push for. And I'm going to talk about this one first. The player configuration block. So, chat, remember how I've always talked about stuff like a grow and shrink block and a block that makes people force them to use player abilities like speed up or camouflage and stuff like that? All of that is bundled into the player config block. See, take a look at this. You can change their walk speed, their jump power, their size. You can smooth change duration, basically, you know, the transition between these new changes, who it affects, all kinds of stuff. You can even change their transparency. And you can toggle if this occurs for everybody, right? Imagine being able to have giant players or tiny players. Imagine the maps you can make for those kinds of changes as well. Or just how they would, you know, and on top of that too, being able to change players' walk speeds as well. Like, imagine how cool that would be. You'd be able to make Sonic the Hedgehog maps where you can move super fast. Let's test that out real quick. So let me take a lever. I'm just going to put this here. I'm going to link it to that. And I'm going to change the walk speed to, let's change it to 50. Yeah, let's change it to 50. Something I never tried making was a Sonic the Hedgehog map because you're just so slow that there's no point. But if you had, wow, my jump height is really low. I got to change that real quick. Hold on, I got to change that real quick. So let me change it over to jump power. I'll put that at 70. Yeah, 70 will be fine. Yeah, so imagine being able to actually make like a Sonic the Hedgehog map or a racing map. Yeah, this is a lot better. Oh, I touched the death block. I forgot that was there. You'd be able to do so, you know? It would be great. What if I wanted to change my size? So let's change myself to 4 times the size that I am right now. Let's see. So I'm going to do that right now. And look at that. See, I'm giant. And when you adjust the, look how, oh, dude, how did I forget that the death block was there twice? I don't even know. I'm tripping, man. I'm tripping. Let me see. I think they should add an auditory logs type thing where you can see every block deleted. This can help detect griefers effectively. That's a pretty interesting idea. Maybe. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. But yeah, being able to change stuff like this, I think it really impact like what kinds of games people can make and all sorts of stuff. So I think it's a really good idea. The powered gate. So chat, have you guys ever wanted to, you guys know the powered block, right? Where you can make it turn on and off? What if you could do that same thing to decorations or other basic blocks like the spheres and stuff like that, right? Or linked events. What if you want to make like something like a touch trigger disappear or reappear, even though it's technically not invisible, right? Or a lever disappear and reappear. What if you wanted to do stuff like that? Well, if you use the powered gate, I'm sure there's a better name you can give for that, but yeah, the powered gate, you can do that exact thing. So you take a lever, you link it to that, and then you connect it to, let's take a teleportation chamber, which for some reason is in the ground. I'll take this metal thing here, right? I can link it to that, and it'll turn on and off. But also what you can do is you can go over to links, the power door. What if I want to make a power door go on and off? Now, when it's hooked up through a powered gate, it's not going to power the door on and off to open and close. It's going to make it appear and disappear. Check this out here. So we do this, and boom, there they are. See, they load in and they load out. It's great. I'm not sure why you would ever want to make a door appear or disappear. Maybe there's probably a reason. But yeah, I think it would be really nice. Being it like I said before, currently in build mode, my favorite block in the game is the powered block, just because of how many things you can do with it. And imagine that, but on a way larger scale. It'd be incredible. It would be incredible. So in terms of the links, those would be the 4 links I would focus on if I was a developer adding into the game. Because I think you would be able to create a lot more possibilities in the game. People can toy around with and whatnot. Custom fog color would be really cool. Being able to change the actual fog color. This is an idea from also Hyena, if I'm correct. Either that or Arctic Asylum. Drivable car, fix that. Undo, redo, I already talked about that. Spawn item block. A small little thing that would be really nice is having a setting to give to all players. So if you want to give every player in the server a gun, boom, there you go. Literally just Amazing Digital Circus episode 6. Patrol points. This is a large one. Making them powerable. So chat, you know how recently the player, I don't know if you guys know this or not. Chat, type 1 in chat if you know this. Or no. Type 2 in chat. Try not to make this confusing. Type 1 in chat if you did not know this. Did you guys know that the player spawns are powerable now? And you can actually place multiple of them. So whichever ones are powered, it will determine where you go. Like, where you'll end up spawning or respawning. It's really nice. What if you take that and you do the same thing for patrol points? The problem with NPCs, and I've talked about this a lot before, so I'm just going to make this brief. But long story short, when you have an NPC and you put down patrol points, they're picking random patrol points every single time to go to, right? But even worse, if you have an NPC that can't access those patrol points, like let's just say there's a big wall and they can't get over here, right? They will, and you only give them an option of one patrol point to go to, they will stand here for minutes on end until they go here. Why is that the case? It's because the NPC is choosing patrol points from every location on the map, even if they can't actually reach this. So they'll keep randomly picking until they happen to pick this random one right here. So why not just cut all that out and just make powered patrol points? First of all, that would fix this issue from happening. Second of all, you could choose when your NPC moves to a certain location. So maybe you have your own custom cutscenes with your own custom NPCs, and when you want the NPC to go to a certain area, when power is triggered to this patrol point, the NPC will just walk over there. Boom. It's that simple. It's really that simple. And I think it would be a lot nicer. That's pretty much it. You can just control NPCs a lot easier. Plus, with the universal, how linking works universally in this game, it'd be easier for players to understand. Rather than having to like manipulate these patrol points to get it to where the NPC goes somewhere and blah, blah, blah. It's a whole mess. So like, why even have all this when you can just have it the best way possible, you know? You just have it where you link it and boom, you're good. That you can spawn custom NPCs in the spawn blocks. I'm glad you brought that up because that's next in the things I was going to talk about. The spawn block. Chat, it has been years since the spawn block has been broken. Have you, chat, type 1 in chat if you have ever tried to spawn NPCs in the spawn block. Like trader NPCs. Tell me what happens when you try to spawn trader NPCs in the spawn block. Tell me what happens. Opinion on properties for blocks, transparency, collision, etc. That's actually in the game right here. Or, I mean, in this game. I think it's really cool. Look, you can change the color of it when it powers on. You can change the material. So you can change the material and color of blocks when it's powered during the game, which is really cool. Change the transparency, reflectance, anchored, which means you can actually unanchor blocks, which is so cool. And make it collidable or not. Yeah. Yeah. Like these... Dude, these three are the most goated things inside of this game. Oh my god, you can just do so... And this one too. And this one too. Yeah. If I was to... Even before I add the camera block, I would add in these. Because you would be able to do some nutty things in these. Yeah. And then I would do the camera block second. Okay. But yeah. You basically can't. If you try and spawn trader NPCs in the spawn block, it just spawns out a bunch of dummies with knives that can't kill, right? You guys know that when it comes to custom NPCs, you can set them as the bot, right? You can take their profile and put it in there. So why can't you take their profile and put it inside of the spawn block as well? That's something that should definitely be done. Then you can spawn in custom NPCs. I wonder if that would put less of a strain on the startup time, because when the game starts up, it has to load in those NPCs as well. But why not make it where you can just spawn in the NPCs only when they're needed? You know what I mean? Instead of them always being present in the game when they don't need to be, you know, there existing in the workspace yet, you know? I think it'd be a lot nicer. Yeah, that's something I would definitely change. Finding a way to have those profiles be put in there. And finally, the last change I would make for build mode, at least if I was compiling all this into an update, if I ever worked on an update, is making it so that all power sources, or at the very least, prompt triggers were already changed. Let me delete this part here. Most power sources are going to be linkable. So, chat, did you know that the prompt trigger, you know that the prompt trigger is linkable now? And I don't mean like linking the prompt trigger to something else. I mean linking something into the prompt trigger, which makes it so that the prompt appears and disappears whether or not it's powered. It has been such an unbelievably nice change. It's incredible. If you could take that change and implement it into things like the item use trigger or the touch trigger. I think the touch trigger and the item use trigger are the most important, but obviously you can apply the same change to stuff like target blocks and buttons and blah, blah, blah. But being able to apply those things over to them would be so much nicer, because then you can dictate when you want the touch trigger to be touchable. Then you can dictate when you want the target block to start receiving gunshots. Then you can dictate, you know, when the item trigger is able to take items. So if you're ever in a position where you have an item trigger covering the entire map or whatever, you can dictate when it'll be workable. You think Maintoon should add a doggy chapter focused on him? Yeah. I actually gave a good idea for a doggy CFC at RDC last year. I was like, you know what would be really cool is a doggy CFC where it shows the night event that happened during the Forest chapter. So you know how in Forest we go to sleep, right? And then doggy, like, you know, gets force fed the potion. I was like, what if you could have it where the chapter starts off with him getting fed the potion, and he wakes up, and he has to, like, fight off TSP. So maybe the chapter involves, like, Forest or something like that, where he's having to fight off and scare away TSP before they do anything else. And during that, it would be like a worked version of Forest, because he's already starting to get infected, right? So it would allow the chapter to be more than just, oh, a remake of Forest. It would be like, you know, this whole warped thing that's also fused with Doggy's memories. And then at the end of that chapter, we get to see Doggy succumbing to, you know, the infection and TSP getting away. And that would leave off, you know, it would ideally leave it off to where, oh, okay, that's where it transitions into the Forest chapter. Chat, what do you think of that idea? Realistically, I think that would, you could do a prequel, which would make sense. But I think this idea would probably make a lot more sense. Technically, it would really fit into like the Decay Delirium themes too, where you can see Bunny succumbing to the infection. You can see how Doggy kind of experienced that as well. Let me see. Something else that this would probably, like, if this would mostly have to be Minitoon's decision on whether or not he wants this idea to be in the game. But if I was a developer, and one of my ideas would be to have it where the traps that you could only, like, for example, the tombstone trap, you know, the one that spawns Piggy, I would put that in the build mode shop. I know it's technically not build mode, but hey, if it draws more people into, you know, going into build mode and checking stuff out, I don't see that as being a bad thing, you know. But yeah, you can do something like that. And I'm not talking about trap skins or Piggy skins. I think it would be nice for those to be exclusive. But I think it would be, I think it should be fine if it was stuff like the tombstone trap to be put into, you know, have a chance for other people to get in the game or whatever. I don't really see it as being that big of like an exclusive thing or anything like that. And I think it would just be nice if other people can have access to it as well. Speaking of which, I have an idea for a new Piggy trap. And I think it's a really cool idea. So chat, hear me out on this one. So I have an idea for a new Piggy trap. And the new Piggy trap is called a speed pad. It's like a little, chat, type 1 in chat if you've played Evade. You probably see where I'm going with this. Have you guys ever played Roblox Evade? If so, you know how you can place down like a little speed pad? It's a little tiny conveyor belt, right? Yeah, for those who don't know, I'll basically just explain how this trap works. So the speed pad, what it does, it's a tiny little conveyor belt that's like a square size, and it has little arrows that are going forward. And how it would work is when you place it down, and if Piggy steps on it, they get 1 second of a speed boost. And the speed boost wouldn't be anything too fast. At minimum, it would be the same speed as how fast a player walks, or maybe slightly faster, but it would only last for 1 second. But the upside to this is that the speed pad lasts forever. It's 10 energy, but when you place it down, it stays there permanently until the game ends. And if Piggy steps on it, they get a 1 second speed boost. Maybe you can reduce it down to like half second, or maybe like 3/4 of a second, you know? But I think something Piggy's really been lacking though is speed. I think if Piggy had some sort of way of, I've always had these moments where I'm Piggy and I'm just barely behind the player and I know I'm just never going to catch them ever. So maybe if there was a way of like being able to speed up just a tiny bit more, I think it would be really, really good. So yeah, speed pad, 10 energy, it lasts forever, but it only speeds you up for about 0.75 seconds. And it gives you like a decent little speed boost. And then boom, you can just move slightly faster. And you can just have, you know, obviously with it being 10 energy, you wouldn't realistically be able to have a bunch of speed pads all over the place. But I think it would really help in maps like Carnival and stuff like that, where you're kind of just dead hopeless at not being able to do anything. But it makes it so it's not overpowered in more condensed maps like House or Gallery. Chat, what do you think of that idea? W or L ID? Yeah, what do you think? 1 second is better, not gonna lie. You just gotta keep in mind, 1 second can be a decent amount of time when it comes to like game-changing interactions. So like, that's like for that long, speed boost. It might be a little too much. Depending, it all depends on how fast it is. Honestly, I would prefer if Piggy got a higher speed boost for a shorter amount of time. Because that seems like it would be much more impactful. Much more impactful. Let me see. There's already traps to slow down players. Yeah, but the speed pad wouldn't just help get those players. It would also be able to help Piggy traverse the map easier too. Instead of just sitting there having to go all the way across this horizontal map that's going to take them forever to do so. Whereas if they had a couple speed pads going around, it can help them like get that speed boost and get to certain areas without having to, you know, take so long. Plus, you'd be able to, you know, strategize like, hey, what areas of the map am I slowest in? And you can put those traps down and in those key areas, and I think it would lead to a lot of cool things that people would end up doing. We need a custom decoration maker, which works similar to the item maker in this game you're playing. I had a similar idea. So I already talked about this. But yeah, having like a tool where you can group stuff together so you can make your own custom decorations or builds. And then you could take it and put it inside of here. And then you could, you know, it would save in your player data store. So that way you could take it and put it into other people's maps. Or you can, you know, place a bunch of them down your map without having to rebuild each one by one. It'd be pretty cool. Let me see. I think mesh block would work just like it. Yeah, chat, I don't know about the mesh block. I think I think a mesh block would be pretty cool. I think it would be pretty cool. You could definitely add in some pretty crazy stuff like, you know, like Freddy Fazbear or an entire mountain or a building or a train. You can do some pretty cool stuff with it. It's just this list right here is some of the stuff that I would prioritize in terms of a build mode update. Except for this stuff here is the main game. This is just my ideas. So chat, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Ignore the stuff like this, by the way. This is just like, you know, some of the stuff that was like, those are just some talking points that I had when it came to like some of the stuff that Epic Tank hasn't released yet. But everything else is like some of my ideas that I'm very interested in. I am very interested in. Let me see. I would love that so much. Yeah, I know. It's really cool. It is super cool. It's super cool. Okay, let me see something real quick. I want to chat. You guys want to play my map? Would you guys like to hop into my map here? Would you guys like to hop in? Hop in. Yeah, get on in here. Get on in. All right, so I'm going to give you guys my username. We will play Piggy build mode maps pretty soon. I don't know how long it's going to be until this next build mode update comes out. It's probably going to take a couple months or whatever. So I'll probably play some build mode maps pretty soon. But yeah, bring some new exciting stuff that I'd like to, that would be cool. Bring in some new and exciting stuff. I'm going to, yeah, let me load in my map real quick. So let me do that. Yeah, get on in here, everybody. Keep in mind, this map is going to get laggy, so be very careful. Be very, very careful here. Let me see. Tony Plays? Wait, what about, is he here? Is Tony Plays here? I gotta, like, let my YouTube thing catch up. Oh, yeah. By the way, if you don't have it yet, here's my username. I've gotten a very, very, very great idea. Hear me out. Morph block. Yeah, being able to morph into custom NPCs. I mentioned that idea as well. I think it would be really cool. Okay, so we got everybody in here. We're good. Cool. Cool, everybody on in here. My username's in chat if you want to join my build mode now. Not that laggy. It's probably going to be laggier for, like, mobile players and stuff like that. Yep. It is definitely going to take more of a toll on mobile players. Decal follow camera settings. Yeah, that's right. Something that would be cool for the decal block that you can end up changing is a new setting where you make the decal follow you. Like in, you know, like in Doom or in Baldi's Basics, where no matter where you look, the decal is always following you. I think that's a really cool setting. I think that would be really cool. And I think that would also be really nice because it would save data. Because instead of having to sit there and put a decal on one side and a decal on the other, like this, which would take 2 decal blocks, you could resort down to 1 by making it where the decal faces you no matter where you go. I think that's a great idea. Yeah, I think that is a great idea. Let me see. Ernie, tell me how to use the mesh block in the concept game. It is tricky. I forgot about that as well. I know you have to get like the mesh ID and insert it, and then the texture ID and insert it, but you got to get those at Studio or the Roblox Create page. Okay, we got everybody in here. We good? All right, let's begin the game. Yeah, so I'm gonna show you guys something as well. I made a tutorial video on this, on how to do it, and it's been incredible ever since. Chat, have you seen those maps where they're like, everybody stand on the buttons and we're gonna vote which mode to play, or you know stuff like that, right? Like manual voting systems. I have had an automatic voting system in my map, and it's been so unbelievably nice. I literally don't have to count up votes. I don't have to see which players are moving between buttons and changing their votes. None of that. I just put a sign up here that says, type in chat to vote for a map. Oh, Goku just got changed into Sterling. I just put a sign up here that says, here's what you vote for. Type it in chat. So I'm going to type in SpongeBob. And now I just voted. And as a result, it's going to automatically count up the votes and choose a map based on everybody's votes. Totally hands-free. Don't need to do anything. It just works. It's great. It's so nice. If you want to see it, I made a video about it on my channel. Literally, it's just install it once and never have to do it again. It's great. So now, as you can see, it counts up all the votes. You can actually see the votes counting up right here. There's no numbers for it, but literally, this is it. That's all my voting system is. It's just this set of links right here. And boom, that's it. This is for like the animations and stuff like that. They're just doing their thing. Yep, they're just doing their thing. Let me see. Arnie, I don't have Studio, sadly. Yeah, Studio is not for mobile. Studio is not for mobile. Let me see. They should add a cutscene block. That's essentially what the camera block would be, but even more than that. It would essentially be even more than that. Okay, let me see. Some of these traps I need to fix because I implemented some new systems. So I gotta go in and fix them. Also, I think this map is so laggy that the tombstone traps just break. They don't even spawn in the Zombiggies anymore. This is the first time I've seen that. I don't know why. I have no clue why. Let me see. This is like Mumbo Jumbo saying simple redstone, but low-key is. Yeah, like even if, listen, when you watch my video on the advanced voting system, you don't need to know how it works. Just copy what I do and you're good. Yeah, just copy what I do and you'll be all good. All good to go. We're playing Death Run, by the way. This is my Death Run map. Alright, which one do we go into? He just says, what the... Helix, thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Let me see. Okay, where do I go? Where do we go? Yeah, which path is good? No, okay, it's Patrick. Yep, it's Patrick. Alright, let's go this way. What the heck are those? Ooh, if someone gets caught in this, they actually get hooked. It's really cool. Oh, the trap already got set off, so and that's not gonna happen. That is not gonna happen. Let me see. Is Piggy up there? Yeah, this is the only trap where you can actually see where Piggy is. And you can see them kind of looking down and setting the traps and everything like that. Alright, let's go. Let's go. Alright, let me see. Let me go over here like this. Yeah, I think one of my favorite things to do when a new Piggy build mode update comes out is update my maps with all the new tech and stuff like that. So I absolutely cannot wait to do that whenever the new update comes out. No, I got caught! No! Okay, well, I'm basically dead, so I'm just gonna spectate you guys. I'm just gonna spectate you guys. Go to rock bottom. Go to rock bottom. Go! Get down there. Go! Yep, that's it for me. I am basically dead. I am completely dead. Bro, I had to leave because my phone started heating up fast. Yep, that's basically what you get for playing an Ernie C3 map. On mobile, at least. Yep, I know. Oh, by the way, I did redo this this map though. I did redo this SpongeBob map. So now it has decals, and all the links for the traps are way simpler. Look at this. Literally, this is the 3 traps. This is all the amount of links there are. That's it. It's really that simple. Yeah, so and they used to be so convoluted with a whole bunch of links and a whole bunch of crap that didn't need to be there. I went and fixed all of it. So now all the links have been majorly reduced and the data size has been reduced as well. Oh, you guys got the key. Yeah, you guys can go in the chum bucket now. Yeah, you guys can go in the chum bucket now. You guys can go. Yeah, you're good. Alright, let's see. Alright, everyone's gonna go in here now. Yeah, so I did a lot of changes to make it easier for people to tell what they're supposed to do in this room, which is pressing the buttons. Makes it a lot easier. I got some displays up here. This actually shows how many trapped buttons are left, and it counts down thanks to the new counter gates and stuff like that. So let me see. Oh, cool, you got the door open. All right, go. This last trap is broken, by the way. I need to fix it. I definitely need to fix it. Let me see. Epic Tank should add the moving tank event. That'd be pretty neat. That would be pretty cool. Let me see. This is a very nice SpongeBob map. Thank you. I appreciate it. Alright, cool. You guys got to the end. Woohoo! But yeah, I need to install some new updates in this to make sure everything's squeaky clean. And I can't wait to add new stuff whenever the next build mode update comes out. And as far as we know, Epic Tank put out a tweet this morning basically saying some exciting things are coming soon. So no idea if that has to do with build mode or if it has to do with something else. I have no clue, but whatever. Could be anything. Okay. Let me see. Oh, there's like one guy left. That one guy is me. The one guy in question is just me. Also, wait, why am I stuck in spectate? That's odd. What caused that? Let me see. Oh, it's this. The current thread cannot... Here, let me go to a place where this is actually going to be readable. So yeah, what was that? It said, the current thread cannot set character's name, lacking capability right player. Player GUI, game GUI, player ability menu, door script. I don't think that has to do with what... I don't think it has to do with anything. I don't think that has to do with anything. By the way, is the bunny jump scare... Whoa, this is really strange. I'm just gonna start the game so I can fix this. It's super strange. Let me see. My Roblox won't load on my phone now. What? Maybe restart your phone. Yeah, maybe try restarting your phone. Something I want to do for the 4th Death Run Dimensions map, or I mean the 5th Death Run Dimensions map, is my map is already super laggy. So I want to make sure the 5th map is like, it's not necessarily low quality, but like not as much being built into it, right? Because I never thought I'd be able to get more than 4 maps into this map anyways. So maybe I'd want to do something like Baldi's Basics. Yeah, let me go over here real quick. So maybe I want to do something like Baldi's Basics, because Baldi's Basics doesn't really, it's almost entirely decals and it's very simplistic. Let me reset myself because I'm just basically gonna be dead right now. There we go. There we go. Now I can spectate everyone else. Cool. Very good, very good. Speed blocks need configurations. Yeah, the speed blocks just need to be tossed. They're just so bad. You can't determine people's speeds. They have a lot of issues when it comes, they have issues with like slowing down the players for some reason every now and then. It's super strange. Yeah, and they're not powerable. It's pretty, they're pretty wonky. They are pretty wonky. Let me see. Also, maybe I'll change it so, yeah, oh, a lot of people are gonna die in this one. Yeah, okay, so I reworked SpongeBob. I need to rework Undertale and the other maps, except for Crosshore. Crosshore is fine because it's newer. But these other maps here are really old and they need reworks. Yeah, so for Undertale, I need to rework this trap here. Because it's just pretty convoluted and a lot of people die here because they don't really understand what to do. They do not understand what to do here. What if you use alts to make mini games? I mean, I have a lot of map slots. That's not the problem. It's just storing everything inside of one map. Actually, if I was a developer for Piggy build mode, something I would try and figure out how to do is make, I don't think you can make sub places for maps. I think it'd be pretty cool. But something I would end up trying to do is I would try to make like something called a load block, where anything inside the block is not loaded in when the game starts, but, or maybe it's just like parented to server storage. I think that would be better. And then when the load block is powered on, it'll take all that stuff and parent it to the workspace, so it's loaded in. So that way, instead of like right now, even though we're only playing one map, which is Undertale, all the other maps are active. And even though their links aren't firing or anything like that, they all still exist. So having all these maps existing all at once, it's just, no wonder people are lagging so much. What if I could just have one of these at a time? It would make it so much nicer. Turn your joins on? Just join my map. Yeah, no, just join my map. My map name, my username is ErnieC3_YouTube. Yeah, get on in here. Who made this map? I did. I made this map. Oh, I don't even think, oh, Piggy's in a completely different area right now. Yeah, Piggy's in a completely different area. Let me see. Do you have any advice on how to make chase scenes work? I believe MiniToonFan made a build mode guide video on how to make chase scenes work. So you should definitely check that out. You should definitely check that out. It'd be really cool. When I rework Undertale, I'm gonna get rid of NPCs because I'll just use decals instead. Because, yeah, there's so like look at this. Look how I have to make the NPCs teleport around. Originally, I just used patrol points. Originally, I just used patrol points, but there were so many patrol points, and the NPCs would take forever to load to them. So I just got rid of them and just replaced them with teleport blocks. But there are so many teleport blocks now that it's like, dude, it's just gonna take forever. Why even bother? So now I just have a completely teleport system. So, but no, I'm just gonna completely change that to decals. It only makes sense. It only makes sense. Let me see. I don't know what I'm going to do about this area, though. If I'm going to turn everything pixelated, like all the trees and whatnot. I don't know. Maybe I might have to rework this area. Or keep it the same. I don't know. I have no clue. I got no clue. Why not use it with flipper and timer? No, I already do. Yeah, for all these teleport blocks. Yeah, I do that already. Are they under here? Yeah, I do that, basically. It's just so many links. It's like, why even... It's just a lot. It is just a lot. Uh-oh. Well, he's basically dead. Yep, he basically just died. I think that was the last player, right? Yep. GG. And I have a system in this map that automatically determines when there's a game over, and it restarts the game. It's really nice. It's super nice. Do you think the spawn NPC block in the bot mode needs a setting where you can use any skin? That'd be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. The Piggy thing is random. I can't change it here. I actually have this map, even though it has a Piggy, I have this map set to no enemy mode. That way it skips the 30-second timer because, you know, in Piggy you can't change it, unfortunately. But something else, oh, you know what? If I was a developer for build mode, something else I would also add is a setting where you could change the Piggy spawn timer. So instead of it always being 30 seconds, I would be able to change it to like 1 second or something like that. Or maybe 60 seconds, whatever I wanted to, right? Yeah, it would just be a lot nicer. It would be a lot nicer. Let's do Bank. Bank is my favorite map. If I added a 5th map, I would really want to try and recreate the magic of Bank. But I don't know how I'm going to. Bank is my favorite map. It's very simplistic, but the gameplay is really fun. The gameplay is super, super fun. Super duper fun. Let me see. Build idea, label block, creates labels in-game when player powers it. They get that label and vice versa. If gates can be... Oh, okay, you mean like a team block. I've had that idea for a while now. I don't think I would definitely want to add team blocks, but I wouldn't add it this update. It would probably be for a separate update. If I was a dev, of course. Okay, let me see. Let's go this way. Red. Okay, so, yeah, regular red. So, regular red is going to be the, yeah, there you go. Uh-oh. I did make a couple changes to Bank, by the way. I added the trap line, so it's easier for people to see now. Yep, it is definitely easier for people to see. Oh, I wouldn't go in there. Oh, and I love how the new player models don't even fall apart. They just ragdoll. Do you want to do a classic Roblox death run, but did you change your mind? Yeah, death run, like the 5th map would either be classic Roblox, or it would be Baldi's Basics. Those are kind of the two ideas I have in mind. Baldi's Basics because it's very simple to build, and I think it wouldn't be too laggy for a 5th map, which is something I'm really hoping for. But a lot of people would like a classic Roblox map, which I think would be pretty nice as well. I'm not sure which one yet. I would probably have to look for new builders, but I don't want to do that yet. I would prefer to wait until the next build mode update, because if there's new tech and stuff like that, we can implement it in as part of the new update, you know. And I think it would just be a lot nicer. Okay, let's see. Let's see here. Let's see here. What do you got? What do you got? All right, one of these paths is safe, and one of them is deadly. Which one's which? Okay, that's the deadly one for sure. Okay, all right, let's go. Let's go, let's go. All right, so we gotta open these deposit boxes. So we'll go up to these and just hit E, and you'll be able to open them. Oh, you got the right one. Okay, cool. I'm gonna choose this. There we go. Cool. All right, the code is 123. There we go. Cool. All right, so one of these paths is safe, and what? I died. I immediately died. Okay, go the other way. Go the other way. Yeah, the other way is safe. Okay. All right, there it is, everybody. Minitoon's Vault. It's book 3. All right, go ahead and grab it. But careful, it's trapped in there. Gotta be real careful. Gotta be real careful. Oh, I need to change this from fire to smoke, by the way. Yeah. I gotta change it into smoke. Okay, there we go. Cool. All right, awesome. You got it. All right, go ahead and open this vent. Hi, go, 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 go. Okay, good. All right, go ahead and enter the vent, everyone. Go, 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 go. Are there any sound IDs available from Delirium that I can use? I'm not sure, actually. That's a good question to have. All right, there's some vents here. Oh, I gotta add the fans in here, by the way. Yeah, I gotta add in the fans. Go, go, go. Okay, there's a pit of water down there. You definitely don't want to get electrocuted. You gotta be careful. Ooh, there's a wire down there as well. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. What are you guys gonna do? Oh, the wire went off. All right, go, go, go. All right, yeah, go this way, go this way. Yep, you gotta go all the way up. You gotta go up the ramp. Gotta go up the ramp. You know what you should add if you were a dev? You should add cutscenes where you can play the map. Say, wait. Say if you were making Seek, you can make a cutscene block. Well, that's what the camera block would basically do. And that was one of the ideas I had, so yeah. All right, what do we do? Is Minitoon almost here, by the way? The Minitoon NPC is supposed to be following you guys. How close until he gets here? Where's he at? Where's he at? Where's he at? Oh, wait, there he is. Yeah, you guys might want to hurry. Minitoon is on his way here. He's approaching the safe. It'd be cool if you could spectate the Minitoon NPC so players can see how close the motivator is. Yeah, see, for this, I had to add in, like, manual teleport blocks and stuff like that as well, which is a big pain. When all you would have to do is just make it so that players can just simply... And I had to have a Minitoon NPC spawning in all different directions. It'd be just so nice if you can make it where patrol points are actually powerful. And that way I could just have one NPC. Because for this motivator system, you know what I have to do? Considering that there's no, what's it called? No powered patrol points? You know what I have to make instead to make this all work? I had to make this. You see that magenta bar down here? Look at this. It's like 60 timers, 60 AND gates, 60 patrol points. It's insane. And then all the different facing positions of the NPCs too. Of the motivator. Go, go, go! You're almost out of here! Quickly, get to the door! Go, 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 go! Dang, you went the long way. I'm surprised you didn't die. Go, 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 go! You're almost there, you're almost there! Go, go, go! And they made it. Congratulations! Woohoo! Congratulations! Okay, here we go. Oh, Piggy is going on the guillotine? Wait, he was found guilty of robbing the bank and not the players? Polly, how could you do this? Well, there goes Piggy.exe. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Okay, alright, anyways, we're gonna do another round here. I'll do one more round and then I'll end the stream, but I'm gonna keep this map going, so if you haven't had a chance to join in, keep trying to join right now, and even after the stream is over, and see what you guys can do. See what you guys can do. Rip Piggy.exe. Actually, I'm probably just gonna end the stream now. If you want to join and play this map for yourself and see if you can make it to the end, definitely join. Usernames in chat. Thank you guys so much for watching today's stream. I hope you enjoy. I'll be doing another stream pretty soon, talking about some more Piggy stuff and whatnot. And be sure to look out for more Piggy videos I'm putting out as well. So, yeah. Anyways, bye guys. I will see you later.